Hello, welcome back to LK Tuition. My name is Lucas and today we're going to be looking at square and cube numbers. So let's get started with square numbers. So what is a square number? A square number is what you get when you times an integer or a whole number by itself. Okay, so for instance 1 squared would be 1 times 1. 2 squared would be 2 times 2. 3 squared would be 3 times 3 and so on. We write a small 2 at the top right of the number to show that it is squared. So for example, like I just said, so 1 squared is 1 times 1. So notice how we put the little 2 at the top right of the 1. Show you some more examples. So there's 2 squared, so that's 2 times 2, which equals 4. We've got 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. And 10 squared equals 10 times 10, which is 100. Now, please don't think that something squared, so 3 squared is not the same, not equal to 3 times 2. That 2 does not mean times. It tells you how many times is that number timesing by itself. So here we've got 2 2s, here we've got 2 5s, and here we've got 2 10s. So it's always just divided by itself. Okay, so these are the square numbers that you need to know. You can learn them like it says, or you can always just times them out if you're in an exam or doing a test or whatever. But these are the main ones that you'll need to know for GCSE. So we've got that 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared is 169, 14 squared is 196, and 15 squared is 225. Now those are a lot of numbers to know, but as long as you are happy timesing numbers together, you can always just find these out from scratch. So for example, if I needed to know 8 squared, I just think, right, well that is just 8 times 8. Work it out or know my times tables, that's going to be 64. But these are the 15 square numbers that you'll need to know or be able to find out for GCSE. Okay, so let's just think about squaring a negative number quickly. So squaring a negative number will always come out positive. So for example, we've got here minus 4 squared. Well, that is just that number times itself, but we've got the sign in there as well. So that's the same as minus 4 times minus 4, and 2 minuses make a plus, so that's going to give us plus 16. So I will look at this timesing and dividing negative numbers together in a different video, but all you need to know is that 2 negatives times in each other will give you a positive number. Okay, so this is because multiplying 2 negative numbers always gives a positive answer. Okay, so let's try a couple of questions then. So as always, feel free to pause the video and then have a go yourself, but we will do them together now. So number 1, we want to write down the value of 3 squared. Well, 3 squared is just 3 times itself, so 3 times 3, and that is 9. So that's the answer to the first one. Number 2, what number squared makes 64? Well, I think we did it in a previous slide. So again, you can either, this is where remembering them will help, will give you a quicker answer, but also you can just try some numbers out and eventually you'll find out that 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. So the answer is 8. That's the number that makes 64 when it's squared. Number 3 is what is 11 squared? So 11 squared is going to be, well, it's minus 11, isn't it? So minus 11 squared is going to be minus 11 times minus 11. And that makes a plus. So that is going to be the same as 11 times 11. And that, if we work it out, is 121. And then finally, a bit more of an interesting question. Number 4, what number squared is equal to itself? Well, there are actually 2 answers to this. So the one you might have got first would be 1 squared. So 1 squared is 1 times 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. So you square the number, you get itself. But the other one is 0 will actually give you this. So I'll just do this up here. So 0 squared is 0 times 0, and nothing times anything is going to be 0. Okay, so your two answers there are 1 and 0, and that is squared numbers. Let's have a think about cube numbers, because it's a very similar idea. So a cube number is what you get when you times an integer or a whole number by itself, just like a square number, but then you times it by itself again. So for example, we write a small 3 this time at the top right of the number to show that it's cubed. And so for example, let's say we've got 2 cubed. So this time we want to see 2 3 times. So 2 times 2 times 2. And like we said before, that's where this number comes from, because we're getting this 3 times. Okay, so this is not the same as 2 times 3. It's 2 times 2, which is 4. So this here makes 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 cubed is 8. Some more examples. So there we have 2 cubed is 8. We've got the 3 cubed is 3 times 3, which is 9, and then times another 3. 9 times 3 is 27. And then we've got 10 cubed. 10 times 10 is 100, and 100 times another 10 is 1,000. Okay, so there's a lot fewer cube numbers that you need to know. There's just these 6 cube numbers. So we've got that 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, 5 cubed is 125, and 10 cubed is 1,000. So what you might be noticing already, we knew that 1 squared is 1, and now we've got that 1 cubed is 1. Well, if you keep timesing by 1, you're going to get 1 every time. So 1 to the power of anything is going to be 1. All right. So let's just do a few more questions and then we're done. So question number 1, write down the value of 4 cubed. So let's grab a different colour. So 4 cubed is just going to be 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, if you haven't learnt it, so let's do 4 times 4 first. That's going to be 16. And we want to times that by 4. And 16 times 4 is going to give you 64. And that's our answer. Okay, number 2. What number cubed makes 8? Well, again, you can just try a few numbers, but eventually you'll find that 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which if we do the 2 times 2 first, that's 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. So the answer to that one is going to be 2. Number 3, what is 0 cubed? So similar to 1 then. So 0 cubed is just 0 times 0 times 0. And that's going to give you 0. And then number 4, if you cube a negative number, will you get a positive or a negative answer? Okay, so let's just have a little think about this one, a bit of a bonus question. So let's just try minus 2 cubed. So we want to do minus 2 cubed, and that's going to be the same as minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. Okay, well, again, let's just do 2 of them together first, and we remember that 2 negatives make a plus. So that minus 2 times minus 2 is going to make plus 4. And then 4 times minus 2, a plus times a minus, again, we'll do this again in another video, but a plus times a minus gives a minus, so you're going to get minus 8. Okay, so if you cube a negative number, the answer will be negative. So let's make sure we're answering the question. Okay, so that is square and cube numbers. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and there'll be more videos coming soon.